A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the divine dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation.
It's time to go trucking once again here on Turn 200. It is time for Truck 200, and it is a very interesting night here, to say the least. It's time to go qualifying for Daytona, and to do that, we're going to send them out one at a time here. It's going to be an interesting night for sure. But after qualifying, we've got the two 25-lap dual races to set the field for the Return 200 next Monday night. Little exhibition Daytona Speed Weeks action for you here tonight on Turn 200. Very excited to get this one underway. It's Tommy Cook and it's Matt Williamson. Matt, let's get into the format here as we're about to send some trucks out onto the Speedway. Regardless, it's about time to go trucking.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's going to be a spectacular night. We're looking forward to this special event for sure. And we are going to have single truck qualifying on the way here. Every truck is going to have the opportunity to take one qualifying lap. The fastest two drivers are going to be locked into the front row no matter what happens in the twin 25s, the dual 25s, whatever you want to call them. They will be locked in regardless of where they finish. So it'll work just kind of like the Daytona duels do in that sense. And then we'll have two 25-lap duels to set positions 3 through 32 in the lineup. Duel 1 sets the lineup for the inside row. Duel 2 will set the lineup for the outside row. Positions 33 through 40 will be set by the fastest drivers in qualifying that do not lock in through the duels. And only Caleb Benzie is guaranteed a spot in the field, as he does have the champion's provisional Everybody else in the field is going to have to earn their spot, and we are expecting some people to go home empty-handed after the night is over. Essentially, with the speed provisionals, the top 9 drivers after qualifying are guaranteed a spot in the field regardless of their duel finish. Tommy, we are expecting a lot of drivers to attempt to make it into the season opener. We are expecting quite a few to go home tonight.
Yeah, we're almost to 60 drivers on the entry list, which is crazy. Sean Begley is going to post the first lap of the night here. Begley, the Virginian, 4-channel top 5s with turn 200, including a second-place finish at Mission O in Charlotte. Opening lap to beat. Here's a 51.654. And I believe next up should be Hayden Palumbo. Palumbo, a standout with the Venom Truck Series in his rookie season, multiple podiums. He lit it up in the chase. I don't think people realize he finished 3rd in the points even with missing a chase race. So he had a fantastic chase outing. He is going to go to 2nd out of the 2 drivers. So Begley's 51.64 holding up thus far. Next driver out on to the track, I believe, is Joshua Rutherford in truck number 64. He's got 1 truck start in his turn 200 career. It was with the Venom Truck Series here at Daytona. It didn't particularly go well for Joshua, but regardless, he's out here tonight. He's going to give some trucking a try this season. And he goes across the stripe. He's on the board. He will go to 2nd. So Palumbo, we talk about the top 2 here, Matt. The top 2 locked into their spots no matter what. They're going to race in the duel because we got bonus points on the line here tonight. But you definitely want to be started on this front row.
Yeah, I mean, you want to try and get yourself that opportunity to not have to worry about the duels, because the duels here are just going to be wild and crazy. I can guarantee you that. So, yeah, you really want to make sure that you put a good quality effort in here. But I got to tell you, I mean, obviously, most folks probably know just how thin the margin of error is in the trucks qualifying at a super speedway. I mean, part of it's going to be luck. You have to be perfect. You can't miss any sort of, I mean, even on your outlap, you have to be perfect on the outlap as well to put yourself in one of those positions. It's going to be very difficult.
Matt Schlosser is 2nd on the board. We expect him to do quite well here in Truck 200. Brad Slagle, now 5th out of the 5 that have posted a time. He's got a super speedway victory with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. So I believe now on the clock is Dan Miglin, if I'm not mistaken, if he's here. Definitely Kyle Zittel is out on the track. Is Miglin out on the track?
Doesn't appear to be. It looks like Kresge and Boundy may be up next after Zittel.
All right, so Kyle Zittel, of course, he is one of the 2 drivers that has won a Truck 200 race at Daytona. So he is out on the track into truck number 53. It's still Sean Begley with the time to beat thus far. So the first driver out of the gate with the lap to beat. Zittel not only a win in Truck 200 here at Daytona, but he also has a Venom Truck Series victory here at Daytona. Zittel goes P2. 100th off the pace by Begley.
Appears that Sean Boundy is going to be up next, crosses the line to start his lap.
Not too far behind him, Christopher Kresge is on the track. The patriarch of the Daredevil Series will put himself 3rd quickest on the board in the 777. Still looking for that first channel win. Has a runner-up finish here at Daytona in Mission O. So here is one of the new drivers to the series, Sean Boundy, in the 34. But he's got 2 starts on the channel before, a little-known hidden gem on the channel called the SWM Cup Series that we called for 2 races before we changed hands on the broadcast team. He finished runner-up in one of those. The race before we picked up coverage, he won here at Daytona, and that's an Agenda 4 Cup car. So Boundy has a little bit of experience here on the channel. He'll go below the apron, which is totally legal, and he'll put himself 5th in the qualifying sheet as they run.
Like next up might be TJ Crampton. Crampton just now getting to his outlap, it appears. So you'll notice Crampton is right up against the wall on the outlap here. He's trying to carry as much momentum as he can around the racetrack. And then when he gets to his actual qualifying lap, he's then going to run the bottom because it's the shortest distance around the racetrack. But running the top on your outlap and then pulling down the hill out of 4 will allow you to carry a ton of speed.
We missed Travis Fleming's lap. He has gone to the bottom of the board with a 51.748. In Truck 26, he'll also be making his Truck 200 debut here tonight. He's regular with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Excited to have him on board.
You're going to have to call these out, Tommy, because with as many drivers as we have, it's actually not registering some people taking their laps, so you'll have to call it out for me.
Corey Rutherford's out on track for sure. As is the 72 of Crampton. He's in turn 3 right now.
Apologies to Fleming, and I believe I missed Matt Schlosser as well.
And Corey Rutherford is going to go to the bottom of the board at 51.782. Here is Crampton. Down and across the stripe he goes, and he will put that P6. Winner of Truck 200 at Homestead Miami Speedway last season.
The Cappellucci up next.
Mario Cappellucci should be the next up on the order. Truck number 11, irregular with the Formula Super Series. And Cappellucci, who had a pretty strong run last week at Texas, goes P2. Right now it's Begley and Cappellucci on the front row provisionally. Still a lot of drivers left to go, though. After Cappellucci, it should be Alex Muscarella out on track right now, winner with the Daredevil Series back in Season 4 at New Hampshire. Muscarella is in the tri-oval here in truck number 07. And Muscarella with a decent time will slot in P10. You want to be in the top 9, because really, if you're in the top 9, you're guaranteed a spot no matter how you perform in the duel. That is ideally where you want to be at the end of it. Next up should be Andy Oak, Andre Carvalho in a truck number 19. And James Lehman should be out on track there after that. Andy, his only appearance on Turn 200 thus far is the Great Nate race, where he was one of many casualties in that event. Regular competitor in the CTS Truck Series. For truck number 19, he clocks in last of those who have turned a lap thus far. Next up, James Lehman. Glad that he's here tonight. He sounded a little banged up the other night. Was not able to try and lock himself into the Championship 4 for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. Lehman's best finish with Truck 200 came in his very first start. And Lehman will go across the line. He is 12th fastest.
Who's up next here, Tommy?
Should be JJ Wang. I think he just got into the session, though. I'm not 100% sure if he's out on track or not. You might check.
Like he just now connected. Oh, he was there for a moment. May have moved somebody else on here.
So Zach Flaum would be next up, then Dakota DeMade.
Looks like Claiborne's out on track.
So Cody Claiborne. Steve Vroman would be up after or before Cody Claiborne as well if Steve Vroman is here.
Doesn't appear that here yet, so he may get sent to the end of the order.
Yes, indeed he will. Everybody that has kind of missed their spot in line will have an opportunity to turn a lap eventually.
The 31 has a great looking truck here. Lots of great colors.
Cody Claiborne had to grind. He didn't realize he was below the 1,500 minimum before last, I think it was last Tuesday. Ended up doing a Draft Masters race and got crashed on the final lap and still won the race. So he is above the cut line now. Excited to have Cody Claiborne in Truck 200, or back in Truck 200 rather. He's raced with us a little bit in the past. 7th place is his best career finish, in fact, twice. And one of those was here at Daytona.
Claiborne through 3 and 4. This is the lap that will count.
And Claiborne will clock in second to last. But that is a lap in the books for him. It's still Sean Begley. Paid to be early, I guess. It's a bit surprising.
We have up next here, Tommy.
I believe Chris Howell should be out on track, if not Paul Ellison.
Ellison is on his out lap at the moment.
Of Chris Howell down the backstretch. He just picked up his first channel win a couple of weeks ago with Max V at Homestead. Anytime you can pass Justin Michael with just a couple laps to go, you're doing something right.
Paul Ellison running a car inside camera for us here tonight. If any drivers want to figure out how they can run one of these cameras, I did post in the Discord in the Truck 200 General. I know that some folks were having some problems getting connected. I think you have to give Google permission to use your camera. I know sometimes that can get kind of hidden. So if you have trouble, I'll try and help as best as I can. But I got to be honest, when it comes to permissions in Google, I'm not the best.
Chris Howell has unseated Sean Begley for the top spot. So there's a new sheriff in town, and his name is Christopher Howell. Paul Ellison, a respectable run just outside of the top 5 on his lap. He'll go P6. So Howell and Begley provisionally front row. Capelucci, Zittel, Kresge, the top 5. Ellison, Schlosser, Boundy, Crampton, Joshua Rutherford, the top 10. Again, you want to be in that top 9. It'll make things a little bit easier for your Knights headed into the duels. Charlie Widener is out on track, so is Brody Gunter. Widener is going to be fighting for a championship on Thursday night with the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. And Widener is on the clock. I believe Martin Plute was supposed to be out, and he's in the session, so we'll hopefully see Martin Plute coming to pit road here in a minute.
Brody Gunter out of turn 4 to complete his qualifying effort. Not the most spectacular lap for Gunter there.
Yeah, Gunter, the recruitment race winner from last week, is way down in the order here. So he'll have some work to do here in the duels. I believe Matthew Karikoff was just out on track. He'll be a newcomer to Truck 200 as well. In the 23 truck, he is just outside of the top 10 now as well.
And Widener's completed his lap. Pretty decent time in the top 10 right now. Who's up next?
We've lost a little bit of track because we were supposed to have Martin Plute out on track, and he didn't make it off of pit road for whatever reason. So we'll wait to see if him or Luke Peterson or Hunter Leach are going to hit the track. John Kay will be next up in this order somewhere as well.
Looks like Luke Peterson just completed his lap.
And he'll go 10th.
This is pretty difficult for me. I have no indication who's on track, to be honest. So I'll need some help as I can get it.
Well, John Kay is headed into turn number 3. I think he is on his up-to-speed lap here.
Thanks,
Hunter
everybody.
Engrav is rolling off pit road as well. Go ahead.
Thanks, everybody, hanging out in the chat. Mike Berry, Corey Rutherford, John Kay, James Watson, Rob Williams, Don Golden always cheering on the Rutherford boys, Bailey Marie cheering on Josh Monacek, and Josh Rutherford was here as well. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We have quite a few to watch qualifying here, and I can guarantee you the duels are going to be pretty spectacular.
Certainly action-packed here, for sure. This is realizing now as we've kind of got it rolling that this is a lot to take in. But it's Howell and Begley right now with the provisional top 2 spots in qualifying. Mario Cappellucci, Kyle Zittel, Christopher Kresge, the top 5. Ellison Schlosser, Boundy, Widener, Peterson, the top 10.
And Begley was the first one out on the racetrack and still in one of those top 2 positions. That's got to feel nice.
Yes, definitely for him. He's got to feel pretty good.
John Kay getting ready to finish up the quali lap here.
Reigning Venom Truck Series champion. And that is not going to be where he wants to put up a time. He is 21st quickest out of the 24 that have taken a time. Hunter Engrav is on the clock in truck number 77. Engrav, the winningest driver on turn 200. Still no Truck 200 victories, but man, he cleaned up in the Venom Truck Series this season in his rookie season. 9 victories, finished runner-up in the standings. He'll be a threat to win races week in and week out here, no doubt about it. Engrav across the stripe, and he is 8th fastest on his lap. Mike Milfelt Jr. is on the track, a winner with the Max VCNC Home Designs Truck Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. That's the new Atlanta. Always a threat to win on the big, fast tracks.
Milfelt really sticking it to that yellow line here. He's been pretty smooth. That's a key to qualifying out of Super Speedway. You can't make any sudden movements. Milfelt has been pretty solid here.
And Milfelt, I think, is going to be outside of the top 15 here, unfortunately. In fact, he is 15th.
All right.
So
nice.
Joshua Monacek is out on the track. I believe we missed Martin Plute actually getting his lap in. He is now going to be in the top 10. Kyle Allen has also just put up a lap inside the top 10. He was quite strong last week.
Brandon Groove also just put, everybody's getting thrown out there, and I apologize that we're missing some. I have no indication who's on track.
I believe Monacek, Carswell, and Heggie should be on track.
Heggie just gave Monacek a little bit of help there. Seems like we have might need to slow the order down a bit.
Yeah, I think we might need to.
Because Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. And I have a feeling Joshua Heggie is also going to benefit from that.
Well, we'll find out. Yep, Joshua Monacek has gone to the top of the board. There's no way to disallow a lap, unfortunately. So Monacek's just going to have to roll with that. Ben Carswell has just gone to the top of the board. Andrew Vreeland is out on the track. I believe Josh Hagee's about to post a lap. We'll see if the 099 will get himself to the front. And in fact, he's supposed to be the number 7 truck, and indeed, he has gone second fastest now. So Monacek now is not on the front row anymore. Ben Carswell is the top dog, and Heggie will be on the front row.
Keith Smith is out of turn 4, getting ready to complete his lap. Smith is going to go to number 4. That was a pretty good lap there. Andrew Vreeland in the famed Mobile 1, number 14. See what kind of a lap the 14 can put down here. And Vreeland goes to P6. The track seems, either this group of drivers is doing really well or the track has maybe cooled down a bit and they're getting a bit of an advantage.
Both.
I'm not sure who's finishing up their laps. Justin Michael is out of turn 4. Jake Johnson also crossing start-finish right now. I think that might be Johnson's outlap, though.
Yeah, I'm getting bombarded with messages right now, so this is going to have to be you here for a minute.
So Michael goes to the top 10. That was indeed Johnson's outlap, so Johnson now on the clock. And Johnson crosses the stripe. Not a great effort there. Currently sits in 35th. And we go from Jake Johnson to Matt Johnston in the 404. Johnston rocking the Bud baseball. Dale Jr. throwback here. He's going to go to P28. Like Cole Maxwell is out on the track. I think we're into quite a few people that may have missed their original slot, so we're kind of getting bounced to the end of the order here.
Yeah, got a little bit messy. Still is getting sorted out. Cole Maxwell is on the track. I think our session might be full here.
We have a lot of people here.
Still some drivers that have not posted a lap, including Maxwell. We got his best career finish with the Venom Truck Series at the end of the season at Talladega. He goes P7 here. So Cole Maxwell with a sporty lap looking to make his first Truck 200 start. Nicely done for him. Yeah, a couple of drivers caught a draft. I think some drivers got sent out a little bit too quickly. I don't think there was anything nefarious going on. But regardless,
Nate Siefker finishes up.
Shuffle things up.
His lap here. The Little Caesars number 10. Not a great effort from Nate, unfortunately.
Well, Nate's he's been the first to say he's not much of a truck racer. Did his first truck race in 4 years last Monday night. I believe Andy Poliski is out on track, and Caleb Bensey, the only driver who came into tonight with a guaranteed spot in the field, he's out on the track looking for a qualifying lap. Poliski just got back from soccer practice from the sounds of it. He is going to post a time, and his time is going to be... where is his time?
What are we looking for here?
Andy Poliski.
Oh, that was his out lap.
Oh, well, it says he's on lap 2.
Oh, interesting. It's showing lap 1 for me.
I wondered. And he didn't post a time last time, so okay. Yeah, I don't see a time on lap 1, so he must have had something happen and he towed back. So Poliski's on track.
Poliski's always wanted to work well with teammates at these racetracks.
And Poliski now is on the board with a 51.72. And that is... where is that? Goodness
That's
gracious.
about 30th.
51.72 is exactly 30th.
Caleb Bensey, this is his qualifying lap out of turn 4.
So Bensey across the stripe. 51.742 for him. And that is not quite the lap he was looking for. That is 36th fastest, but again, he's locked into the show. Doesn't matter what he does in the duels here.
Indica Scarlet, I believe, is up next. Making their way through turn 4, now on the exit. And Rene Garcia in the 74 should be up next here.
Brad Saxton's on track here as well in the 200 truck. Saxton is on the clock. Here's Garcia looking to make his first truck 200 start, coming to the stripe. And Garcia is on the board. As to where he is, though, oh, he's 23rd. Rob Haynes is also out on track, but Brad Saxton's coming through turns 3 and 4. The first ever broadcasted race I raced in, Brad Saxton was in. He and I were slugging it out, going door to door here at Talladega for the win. And you know who won that race? Neither of us. It was Matt Williamson.
That is factual. That did happen.
That
appears
is
Brad
definitely
thinks this
factual.
is 2-lap qualifying as he was up on the apron, and I think is going to go for another one here. Either that or he may, I guess he, yeah, I don't know. We're going to stick with him here. And the 200s. Oh, he got loose. He's in the grass.
I told him to stop.
Oh, okay. There
You're not
you go.
supposed to post the second lap. A couple people have already done that. Yeah, a couple guys got a draft. It's been a little bit messy.
Rob Haynes just finished up his effort in the 019. That is good for 22nd. And Dale Weiser is on his out lap, coming to the line to start his qualifying effort. And Will Weiser will be up next.
Okay. $51 drivers with a time on the board. Oh my lord. Yeah, this is obviously a bit more than we bargained for here. I have not looked at the broadcast even once. I don't know how many people are watching. It could be 5, it could be 500, but appreciate anybody that's hanging out. Lord almighty.
I'll tell you
These
what,
dual races are going to be awesome.
We've had quite a few drivers qualify outside of the top 30 recently, but the track is still primo. Dale Weiser just went to 6th.
So Weiser in P6. Now it's Will Weiser who is coming to the stripe here.
And this is to complete the effort.
And he is 13th.
I mean, out of all the people that we have had qualify, still not a bad effort.
So you want to be in the top 9, and we're going to have a discussion afterwards. I'm probably going to turn you loose to interview a couple of drivers here while we've got some time here at the end. Dan Miglin is out on the track right now. But as it sits right now, the top 9 are Carswell, Hagee, Matichek, Smith, Howell, Weiser, Vreeland, Maxwell, and Bengley. The problem is if we have a problem with a qualifying lap, we can't disallow anybody's lap without just disqualifying them from the session. So, you can see how it gets a little bit messy.
Dan Miglin is on the clock here in the 45. And Miglin is going to get to 44th. So just one lap shy of his number on the side of the truck. Here's the 199, Mr. Hunter Leach. Man, I wonder who painted that truck. It looks nice.
Hmm.
Who could it be?
All right, to John K in the chat. Andy Poliski should be able to join.
And Hunter has started his qualifying effort. Went up the hill just a little bit there. That's not necessarily what you're looking for. It's pretty steady down the straightaway, though. Oh, touched the apron just a bit there. And a tiny little mistake like that could make a massive, massive difference in your position with a field this size. Leach goes to 36 on the board. Peter Donchak in the 21. Across the stripe to start the clock. Sounds like Sean Boundy put in a lot of practice on the apron just for that to be all for naught. Although, when pit stops happen in the race, it will help you there. Well, not in the duels tonight, but in the real race. Peter Donchak finishes his lap. Pretty good one, up to 17th. That's nothing to sneeze at with this many trucks attempting to make the field here. Steve Roman now going to take his lap. Was pretty early in the order, wasn't quite in the session yet. Got sent to the back and now is going for it. And I believe Roman is going to be the last driver to put a lap in. He crosses the line. Man, a good lap to end it for Roman. Up to 7th at 51.65. Again, we believe that is the final driver to take a time here. We did miss a few, and there's still some that I'm not sure I'm able to see when they're taking their time. So, looks like we may have missed Josh Freed's lap. And it appears I just missed Nathan Reynolds' lap as well. That's unfortunate. Everybody in the session now does have a time next to their name, so we should be completed. Might be waiting to see if we get one or two more. I'm not even sure we have room in this session for that. Appears we've had 59 drivers attempt to qualify here so far tonight. Pretty big event for 59 drivers to try and qualify for it. Thank you to all the drivers for coming out here tonight and everybody that's watching in the chat with us as well. I'm sure many of the drivers are probably in the chat at the moment. If you are, thank you for participating, and we are looking forward to seeing what you got in the duel races. That should be pretty spectacular. And if you are watching and you're a driver, again, you can check out the post in the Truck 200 General about how to run a car inside camera should you have a webcam or a phone that you can use sparingly. I think Tommy's probably dealing with quite a bit of admin work at the moment. So trying to get things settled, making sure everybody's gotten their times in. Might be waiting for a couple more here as well. I see Nathan Reynolds entering and exiting the car inside camera room for some reason. Not sure what's going on there. And it appears Tommy Cook has, in fact, left the broadcast room, talking things over with race control. Might be trying to settle some disputes here. I know there was a couple of runs that seemed a little inflated. But we'll wait the news and see if that is our final qualifying effort from Mr. Reynolds.
Okay, so the way this is going to work here, we've determined, the race admin team, that Ben Carswell, Joshua Heggie, and Joshua Monachek all had draft-aided laps. So Carswell, Heggie, and Monachek are the top three on the timing charts. We're going to let them turn another lap and let that lap be their speed provisional lap. More than likely, they're going to get EOL penalties here and have to work from the back of the field.
So it appears Carswell is the one out on the track at the moment. Anybody
So
else
we
out
should-
on track yet, Tommy?
No, we should have enough time for everybody to just make a lap by themselves without any issues. Oh, Lord.
I think you made the right call because those three certainly had some help.
There are probably others in there as well, but there was one driver I know had a draft-dated lap that is in the 30s. So it just works funny like that sometimes.
So that is Carswell's.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he is not going to be able to post a lap. He turned 3 laps. So Carswell's, we're going to take Carswell's first unaided lap. It was a 51.769, and that will put him in the 30s somewhere.
Waiting on either Heggie or Monachek to take their run. And it looks like it's going to be Josh Heggie.
Heggie or Monachek are cleared to take the track whenever.
Heggie has taken it. He is running the running the top here on the out lap, and We will see. Kind of a time Joshua Hagee can put down here.
We haven't even gotten to the racing yet.
Well, it has been a full night already. It has also been a bit of a whirlwind so far for the open queue. Or I shouldn't say open
Certainly
queue,
been
but
something.
for the qualifying.
Yeah, this
And
didn't
I think-
quite, for the broadcast, work out the way I was hoping it would. We were just hoping to really get time to study up on everybody, but unfortunately that didn't happen.
Well, we got just about everybody some TV time. Did miss a few because of unfortunate reasons. And there are
Well,
all
this many-
reasons I have to argue with our overlay system, unfortunately. Peggy, a little bit of
coming-
blinking throughout this lap.
Yeah, coming to the stripe here, and that's a 51.719. So that will be the time that he will have for his speed provisional. That would put him, let's see, that would put him in the low 30s, I do believe. That would put him 40th.
And this is Monachek on the clock, has already taken his out lap.
So Carswell, Hagee, and Monachek will have EOL penalties unless Monachek can put up a representative lap here to get him the pole. Right now, your front row for next week is Heath Smith and Christopher Howell.
Monachek is very good at these drafting racetracks, so not out of the question for Monachek to maybe put himself in one of those two spots.
Monachek, 51.734 is going to be the lap for him. So that is right in between the Hagee and Carswell laps. So that's outside of the top 40 for Monachek.
I believe that is all we have here. I don't believe anybody else has joined the session. 59 drivers have taken a time here tonight. Who would have thought? That just brings a giant smile to my face. Never in my wildest dreams would I think we would have to send people home for a season opening race of our own league that we're running. Pretty special. Thank you to the drivers.
Oh, boy. Well, we're through that.
Not without his hiccups, but it was pretty special
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Okay, so the starting lineup for this, assuming the overlays work anyway, is going to look a little bit wonky. It should be Ben Carswell and Josh Monachek on the front row. They're going to get EOL penalties here, however. Christopher Howell then will lead the field of green. Steve Roman, the winner of the inaugural 200 at Talladega, will start to his outside. Cole Maxwell and Mario Cappellucci will be on row number 3 then. Kyle Zittel and Gavin Sanders, who we didn't mention, is here tonight. He's inside the top 10. So are Nathan Reynolds and Peter Donchak. Next up would be Matt Schlosser and Brandon Groover, who is here tonight on row 6. Martin Plutz and Rob Haynes on the 7th row. It's Rene Garcia and TJ Crampton on row 8. Joshua Rutherford, Matthew Karakov on row number 9. Dakota DeMade and Hunter Leach will round out the top 20 starters. 21st for Alex Muscarella. 22nd, Brad Slagle. JJ Wang and Nate Siefker on row number 12. It's Dan Minglin and Brody Gunter on row 13. Inika Scarlett and Corey Rutherford on row 14. Andy Oak and Brad Saxton will be shotgun on the field here in 30th. Matt, what do we got for weather conditions and all that?
Yeah, I mean, weather conditions obviously usually not a huge factor here at Daytona. Track temperature is 108 degrees. We do have some higher winds up to 14 miles an hour. And it appears they are kind of coming out of I guess that would be the northeast. I don't know. I can't ever remember how the degrees work on that thing. Obviously wasn't a Boy Scout, but yeah, there is quite a bit of wind here that the drivers will have to contend with. And if you've been around watching trucks at the drafting tracks as of late, you'll know that the fixed setup from iRacing is pretty loosey-goosey. Tommy tried to do his best to tighten that up a little bit. It has helped some, but it's almost impossible to do with the package that this truck has at the moment. So it's still going to be pretty tight for the drivers here. Or it's pretty loose for the drivers, I guess I should say. But yeah, things are going to be interesting as far as that goes. We have 2 25-lap duels on the way. And there are going to be normal cautions. I know a lot of times when we do these sorts of races before a super speedway, we turn cautions off. That is not the case here. It's normal cautions until we get 2 to go. There will be no cautions inside of 2 laps to go because there is no overtime in these races. That is a big asterisk right there. You need to remember that.
No overtime. We're going to be as lenient as we can be with the cautions at the end of the race, really inside of 3 laps to go. You're not going to be able to get a restart there in regulation. So really, unless we have a world ender in the last few laps, we're not going to be throwing a caution. Which is, it's quite possible.
This is a big field for a dual race. This is 30 drivers in a dual race to get into the field of 40.
You want to be in the top 15 at the end of the race. A little help from the wind for Heath Smith, apparently. That's the word from Sean Bounty. Would not surprise me in the slightest. Christopher Allen, Steve Vroman are on the front row. Cole Maxwell is on the inside of row number 2. We are underway. Mario Cappellucci there in the 4th spot. Kyle Zittel. Gavin Sanders on row 3. Oh, already a spin in the back. JJ Wang has gone around.
Steve Roman leading it on the outside and is being pushed out to the front, and that is by Mario Cappellucci in the 11. But here comes Howell on the inside.
With help from Cole Maxwell. Lap 1 goes to Roman. Ooh, loose there. Still loose. Hang on to it. 3 wide in the back after the stack up there. Brad Slagle's in the middle. I believe that's the 13 of Christopher Darling there, who got really loose there on the top side.
And I indeed think you are correct. The drivers running videos, car and side cameras for us here. We'll try and highlight those as we can here as we roll along.
It's actually not. That's Peter Donshank. He's got the wrong car number on the side there. Regardless, go ahead.
This is Nathan Reynolds in the 51. He's working on the bottom right now with I don't know if they're satellite teammates or teammates in this league, but is working with Kyle Zittel here on the bottom. Some drivers being patient, some are not. Somebody's trying to take it 3 wide on the top. Whoa! There goes Cappellucci down to the bottom, leaves Steve Roman.
3 wide further back, battling for the lead up front. Mario Cappellucci on point now with Gavin Sanders pushing.
Boy, we're starting to push really hard in the middle. Drivers are getting out of shape all over the place back here.
Look at this. These guys are squirrely. Don Shack is in the wall. Oh boy, that's going to be big. And it is. Gunter's in there, Siefker, Don Shack, Karakov as well. That's what you fear here.
Yeah, Siefker pretty involved in that one. He's running a camera for us. You see the shaking of the head. He puts his hands up like, what? I mean, what am I supposed to do there?
I'm not sure.
He's not wrong. There's not a whole lot you can do.
Oh, Joshua Matacek with a problem. Gunter, Plutz, Siefker, Karakov. Meatball flags for them. Their nights might be over.
Siefker has his wheel turned pretty hard to the left just to hold this thing straight.
Lap 4 for the big one.
Yeah, we will certainly go back and take a look at this one. I mean, this was coming. There's no two ways about it. They were getting crazy in the middle of this pack and kind of up towards the front even, and it went south in a bit of a hurry here. See right there, it's a couple of trucks get up in the wall, and it's the 07 of Muscarella that ends up sideways first. Trying to get our eye on who this is that is in the wall. Oh, and that is the Muscarella pushing Donchak. Donchak gets up into the wall. Muscarella stacks him up, gets sideways. Brody Gunter, Matacek, Rene Garcia, Dan Miglin, Corey Rutherford. There's Nate Siefker in the 10. You see a bunch of drivers trying to avoid here. Like Brad Saxton may have gotten slowed down in time. Like Saxton was on his toes. And indeed was. So good work there from Saxton. Like the 199 of Leach got slowed down in time as well. Had to make his way into the grass for just a moment, but was able to get through.
Team 200 survives the first one.
So quite a few drivers down pit road here for damage fixing. Matacek, Donchak, Rene Garcia, Brody Gunter, Alex Muscarella, Corey Rutherford. Brad Saxton is also down pit road. I didn't think he had any damage there, but might decide to take tires.
Yeah, why not?
Not the worst idea. Martin Plout and Matt Karakov is down in his pit box, and I think is a lap down already at this point. So some extensive damage for the 23 to get fixed here. And somehow Nate Siefker is being scored in the lead, even though I think he took a toe. Oh, no, we saw him driving around the racetrack. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, he won't be scored the leader much longer. I think he may have had to tow into his pit box.
And in fact, he is only on lap 5 now.
Yep. It was showing that for me as well. Don't you worry.
Okay.
So Mario Cappellucci at the front of the field as they are going to start to double up.
And Cappellucci made a great move, left Steve Broman on the top to go to the bottom. Put himself in that position. So the double ones getting it done early here. And to Don Golden's point, it's never too early for the big one.
Yeah.
Well, maybe sometimes.
It didn't happen on lap 1, although J.J. Wang had a problem, and he's already out of the race. Didn't quite see how that one started, but we'll take a look at it all after the race. Appreciate Garrett Rainey's help here today. It's been a mess. It has been a mess. This may have been a bit over-ambitious on my behalf, but we're going to get through this evening, and we'll look forward to next week. We still got plenty of racing to go. Not just tonight, but through the season as well. Go ahead.
Shout out Joshua Rutherford for running a car inside camera for us here as well. I think it's Joshua's first time running a camera, so excited to get him on the channel in the flesh. I've gotten to both call races he's been in and also race against him, and it's good to get him on the stream here.
You got to push him last night across the line. Kind of.
Kind of. I pushed him back to pit road.
All right, field is tightened up. We're ready to get back to the green flag here. Lap number 8 is on the board. Capalucci is back on it.
See what it looks like in the middle of this pack through the lens of Joshua Rutherford here. Brad Slagle out in front of him. Gets a good jump. Rutherford a little bit slow through the gears, but Schlosser to his inside did the same. You see Slagle pulls down right away. Whoa. Cole Maxwell nearly got into the side of Howell there. Pretty low, and then some contact. I believe that's with Sanders.
Oh, they are stacking up here on the top side. That energy gets transferred very, very quickly.
Well, you make a little mistake like that, make some contact, and have to, I mean, not that you back out of the throttle, but you just lose a little momentum. I mean, it takes another lap and a half, 2 laps to get that back.
Everybody's spread out now, except for Howell, who's giving a shot here to Capalucci.
Howell not afraid to push the 11 by any means. Howell was very quick with his lap as well. So Howell has been on the ball here tonight so far. Things have settled down in the middle of the pack here, running more single file. Some of them probably because they might not have enough engine left to run up towards the front.
I just think this truck is so squirrely. It just, for whatever reason, the setup is not being very conducive to pushing and being aggressive. And also, we're still kind of early in this race as well.
Yeah, I think there's some drivers that after that big one went, all right, let's take it easy. We still have over half the race left here. Our time is coming. We'll get back up there.
I mean, just look at Chris Howell here. Very capable driver running in P2. But man, this thing Look at how light it is
down.
on its feet. Oh,
Onto
there's
the
one going
apron just
around. I
about.
think it's Brad Saxton. Saxton is around. The caution is out. I think the Rutherfords both got a piece of that one. Rene Garcia as well.
So caution back out on the speedway. The 200 truck pretty banged up there on the side. Let's see how it unfolds here. And you have Saxton. Looks like he's trying to push Matt Schlosser. And it's Corey Rutherford behind Saxton. Schlosser moves down the racetrack a little bit. And Saxton has some energy. Maybe a little off-center push to the 400. And looks like Rutherford pushing Saxton as Saxton is trying to push Schlosser. Pushing the pusher. He generally isn't very kind, especially with this setup probably. Gets Saxton loose. Rear end of the truck up into the wall. Rutherford back into that left side quarter. And then Joshua Rutherford tags that side as well. So not race-ending damage for Saxton, most likely, but certainly is going to be at a disadvantage at this point. Let's go ahead and back it up. We'll look at it from Corey Rutherford's point of view. I just realized Corey is also running a car inside camera. Not sure I saw that previously, so we'll get that on camera here in a moment. Yeah, just a little touch to the right rear of the 200. That is enough.
Yeah, they're calling that one a racing deal. I would kind of agree, given the circumstances of this. Wonky truck, difficult conditions, a lot of trucks at that.
Corey was waiting for the damage to get repaired. Probably minimal, not required, but minimal optional repairs there. Now makes his way down pit lane, back out on the racetrack. Luck of the draw for the Rutherfords. They are in the same race. They get to work together, but unfortunately hasn't provided much fruit thus far. But this one is far from over. And boy, Nate Siefker must have gotten in to another one somewhere. I don't know what happened to the 10. Definitely didn't have that much damage, I don't think, before this one, or at least after the initial incident that he had. I don't remember that being the case anyways. But the 10 is definitely worse for wear at this point.
All right, I'm back. Had to do some admin stuff.
Thiefker, Brody Gunter, Martin Plute, Brad Saxton, all get some damage fixed here. Work their way back around the racetrack to catch the tail end of the field. We are going to take the green flag with 10 to go. And things are just going to keep ramping up here through this one. Drivers haven't really had the opportunity to get a long run and work with some folks to try and work their way up slowly, so now everybody is going to be in desperation mode.
And desperation mode is not the mode that some of these guys need to be in. Because I think this truck is in desperation mode already. It's just not liking what Daytona has for it today. So it's going to make an already interesting couple final laps that much more difficult, to say the least. Cappellucci, Howell, Maxwell, Zittel, Sanders, Reynolds, Haynes, Slagle, Vroman, Groover, Miglin, Leach, Scarlett, Schlosser, Carswell right now are in the transfer spots. Of course, Howell's locked in no matter what, but there are bonus points on the line here. Top 10 drivers will have some kind of points on the board at the end of the night from each duel. Back it away. Big shot there from Maxwell up to Cappellucci. That put Maxwell right onto the front bumper of Gavin Sanders. Sanders being pushed by his fellow Canadian Rob Haynes. On the top side, it's Zittel working with Howell.
That's a duo that I feel like can work really well together. Of course, not familiar with each other at all.
No, certainly not. Haynes abandons ship on the bottom. He'll tuck in behind Nathan Reynolds, who's making his way up to a former teammate of his, Kyle Zittel. Dave Miglin moves down to the bottom. Here's Zittel now going for it.
Howell tries to cover it off and thinks better of it. That one probably would have ended disastrously. And now the 019 of Haynes has a run on the outside with Steve Vroman as a result.
It might end disastrously for Howell regardless as he plummets through the middle line. But we'll try and sneak back in front of Brad Slagle here up top. New leader, it's KZ53 here at Daytona. What else is new?
I mean, when you see Reynolds and Zittel there together on the top pushing somebody they don't know, you have to assume that move is probably coming. And indeed it came. And just about ended in disaster.
Here's Vroman. Now pushing Haynes. Haynes might get clear. Will he take it, though? I don't think so. Haynes is still clear, though. He's won a Max V race at Talladega before. He knows how to get it done. Vroman has won restrictor plate races as well. And Vroman now is going to work with his Venom Truck Series stablemate, if you will, Kyle Zittel. So now it's Venom on the bottom, Max V on the top, and two wild cards, open wheelers, Cappellucci and Scarlett, fourth in line in each line.
This is what we come here for, Tommy, to see all of these different drivers come together and see how they play.
New faces and new places. All right here, Truck 200. This is it, baby. This is the vibe. Haynes getting a nose out ahead.
Fight for the top 15 is starting to get pretty stacked up. That is where you need to be if you want to transfer into the season opener next week.
The drivers will know by the end of the night who is in the field, but we will not leave air with confirmation of the field. We've got some provisions to sort through, especially with qualifying being a little bit wonky. Not going to matter to Chris Howell, though, as he is now going to leave his Max V teammate behind, and a huge surge out ahead for the 88. As Haynes backing up to Slagle.
Slagle's going to try and pick up the slack here, but when that truck leaves behind you, you just drop like a rock. The momentum leaves you.
This guy's getting awful flirtatious here with the apron, through the tri-oval, through the corners. Can lead to disaster.
Vroman still pushing Howell through turn one.
These
and
two
now
are
through turn two.
These guys are pretty comfortable, it looks like, with one another, or at least with the trucks. But look how much Vroman is darting back and forth.
Oh, Vroman's going to move to the
Ooh.
top. Howell, a little bit indecisive, sticks to the bottom.
Oh, no! Reynolds with help from behind. Capalucci. Reynolds is going to save that. There's no way. No way. Stacks him up. We're still in the danger zone here in the midfield. Reynolds is back on his horse. He'll tuck in behind Gavin Sanders. I cannot. Oh,
one in the wall up
that's
front.
Haynes.
That's Rob Haynes.
And that is going to be difficult for everybody else to navigate through now in the mid-pack. Haynes all the way to the tail of the field here, inside of 5 laps to go. Long road ahead for the 019.
Things have gotten all topsy-turvy here without caution.
Zittel pushing Howell. Capalucci's in third. Slagle in fourth. Here's Reynolds right after the mishap, right back into the top 5. TJ Crampton now is here.
Yeah, Gavin Sanders jumped up to the top in front of Steve Roman. You see a bunch of drivers going to the top now. Kyle Zittel is one of them.
Reynolds trying to get to the back bumper of Kyle Zittel. Sanders and Vroman get a little bit out of sorts with one another. It stacks up the top line a bit. Four laps to go in duel number 1 to set the inside line. There are speed provisionals for the drivers that started towards the front of this field, but you don't want to have to rely on them. A top 15 here will get you in the show. The top 10 will get you some bonus points for the road.
Reynolds trying to push Kyle Zittel here. Can't get him out front. Capalucci doing a good job here with Howell on the bottom. It's all focused for Nathan Reynolds in the 51.
Man, Mario got down on the apron again. These guys are fighting it here. Oh, Reynolds has to roll off. He was going to turn Kyle if he didn't let up.
And I think he just said, "I gotcha." You saw him mouth the words. That one was pretty hairy, though.
2 laps to go. Not expecting a caution flag from here on in. But if we really get to destroying things, we might get one. It'll end under caution regardless.
We'll see who's wanting to make a third lane here. I think there's some antsy drivers right around the top 15 that might look for it.
I think there are some antsy drivers everywhere in this entire field. Duel 2 drivers are probably not feeling great at this moment watching this unfold. Coming to the white flag. Next flag ends it. It's Howell at the line by a nose.
Man, Capalucci is attached to Hal right now.
These guys trying to find momentum anywhere that they can get it. Big gap on the bottom. Big momentum from the top side. Here's Reynolds pushing Zittel. Can he push Zittel clear? Will Zittel stay on the front bumper of the 51? Can Sanders and Vroman try and make the third line? This is the finish of duel number 1 here for the return 200. It's Zittel on the top side. Howell on the bottom. They touch. Here's Reynolds. It's going to be a 3-wide finish. Zittel takes it. Zittel by a nose.
And they wad him up after the start.
My God. 18 one-thousandths of a second. Zittel over Reynolds. Howell, Capalucci, Sanders the top 5, Slagle, Vroman, Crampton, Maxwell, Schlosser the top 10, Dan Miglin, Hunter Leach, Corey Rutherford, Brandon Groover, and Ben Carswell are the 15 that will race no matter what on Monday night.
Here's a look at that finale one more time. Zittel, Howell, and Nathan Reynolds are 3 abreast. And Howell gets tagged by Cappellucci in the right rear. That's what got them all wadded up together. But Zittel stays right there in the middle, crosses the line to take the win. How about that Daytona duel, folks?
Woo-wee. How about that? All right, here we go. Heat race number 2. Sorry, I do that every time. Duel number 2. Sorry, old habits die hard. Josh Heggie, again, is going to get an EOL penalty here for the start of this one, so he'll head to the back. Regardless, though, it'll be Heath Smith who will be in the show no matter what. He's on the outside pole. Dale Weiser then will start on row number 2 with Andrew Vreeland, 2 newcomers to Truck 200 there on the second row. Sean Begley, Justin Michael on row 3. Will Weiser, Christopher Kreisky on row 4. It's Paul Ellison and Scott Patton rounding out the top 10. Hunter Engrav, Kyle Allen are on the next row. Then Sean Boundy, Charlie Widener, Luke Peterson, Mike Milfeld on row number 8. It's Zach Flaum, Andy Poliski, Hayden Palumbo, and Matt Johnston, your top 20. After that, rest of the starting lineup is Christopher Darling and James Lehman side by side. Caleb Ency, who's in the show no matter what, with the champions provisional from last season. He'll start next to Travis Fleming. Nick Goyette and John Kay deep in the field here. Then it's Jake Johnson, Cody Claiborne, and Josh Freed is the final driver in the lineup here tonight. Track conditions, any better, any worse? How's the wind?
Well, we'll see if we can take a look here, and I hate to say this, but we are having some issues.
That does not surprise me here with the heat racing formats. For whatever reason, iRacing and SDK don't get along.
So this is not ideal by any means, but we are fast forwarding to try and get live. Where are the cars on the racetrack, Tommy?
They are entering turn number 3, just about.
All right, we should be there momentarily. And we will maybe hopefully get you some weather here. More concerned about getting a live shot. There we are. The shot is now live. Thank goodness. Weather conditions largely the same. Wind right now is 11 miles an hour, but gusts are going to get up to 14 to 16 miles an hour, just like they did previously. Track temperature is a little bit cooler. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. I think the main thing we're going to pay attention to is who is going to get watered up in this one.
Yeah, we'll find out here. It's Weiser and Smith on the front row. Dale and Will are both here in heat race, gosh darn it, duel number 2. I decided that it was going to be a duel race and not a heat race, and then I've contradicted myself twice here. We're underway,
You got to get off the dirt track, brother.
Apparently. Some heavy hitters in the super speedways here in duel number 2.
Andrew Vreeland and Heath Smith working well together on the top side at the moment.
Look
and
at that.
Smith
shooting the middle there, 3 wide, as Kresge's going backwards on the top side.
Smith moves down in front of Dale Weiser. Oh, Justin Michael trying to take it to the 3rd row, and he does, and that is because he has a teammate behind him.
Whoa!
Oh, my goodness. Vreeland just about got turned by Heath Smith. Vreeland realized he was getting left out to dry and made a move to the bottom.
Lots of Max V drivers here in this one. Smith, Justin Michael, Scott Patton, James Lehman. You would imagine they would all work together. Charlie Widener as well. Though they're technically on 2 different teams, I would imagine a lot of co-opetition between these 2 factions. They're all represented Thursday nights.
If you've ever watched a Thursday night race, though, you know that there is absolutely zero race manipulation.
Oh, no. They'll work together tonight, and then they'll beat the crap out of each other next week.
They want to make sure they get in, but once it comes to the real race, they are taking no prisoners with each other.
Absolutely not. Calm start to this one, at least for now.
I mean, the first one started out a little bit calm for the first couple laps, and then it slowly deteriorated. And looks like timing and scoring not going to cooperate with us this time, still showing 24 laps to go, and that is indeed false.
I am shocked. I really am. Oh, well.
It's like we think it's just going to work one of these days, and it never does.
It snuck a couple of good ones in on us, but yeah, we'll get to do it again at Volusia later this season when we get Heat Racing back there.
No,
You
that's
excited
gonna
about
be
that?
a good time.
Well, I mean, that is going to be a fun night. We'll just hope the timing and scoring gets sorted out there. Hello to everybody that's hanging out with us. Appreciate everybody that's hopped in, who's been watching. A messy night on the admin side of things, but hopefully it's been an enjoyable broadcast. Appreciate Matt picking up the slack as I've had to wear multiple hats here. And I've been a bit overwhelmed, to say the least. But this is the last thing we got to do here tonight. We'll put our feet up and enjoy this one. To Kyle Zittel, if you're listening, we'll try and get a word in with you after the conclusion of duel number 2. And also our duel number 2 winner, we'll hope to talk to them, and also hope to talk to your quick qualifier here tonight, which will end up being Heath Smith.
A couple of drivers running card side cameras for us here tonight in this race as well. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that when timing and scoring doesn't work, those decide not to work either.
Oh, James
So-
Lehman trying to sneak up top there. Almost got into it with Christopher Kresge.
James Lehman is one of those drivers running a camera, and he just made a very bold move, but may get left out here. Oh, no! Patton gets turned!
Into the wall, they're scattering.
Oh, no!
Ellison's
Charlie
down to the
Widener.
grass. Oh, Widener hard.
Widener gets destroyed.
Oh, man. Yeah. That was a lot. Michael Allen, Patton, Widener, Engrav, Ellison, Weiser. That's Will Weiser. Josh Heggie, Nick Goyette, Jake Johnson, Hayden Palumbo, Matt Johnston, Travis Fleming, Andy Poliski. It'd almost be easier to tell you who wasn't in this. Josh Freed with a problem, Cody Claiborne, Christopher Darling, Caleb Bensey, all involved in that one. That went from hot to not very quick.
There were a lot of those drivers that were down into the grass to try and avoid. They were scattering all over the joint.
I think this is going to start with contact between Allen and Patton. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to take a look at it on the replay or not, with it kind of being bugged out the way it is. But if that is the case, I can go back and narrate what happened radio style.
Well, we should be able to take a look here, and Patton is trying to push Michael here. And Allen gives a push to Patton when Patton is tucked up behind Michael, and it gets Patton super loose. And then everybody starts to scatter as Patton comes back down the racetrack. A bunch of drivers. Widener, unfortunately, gets turned across traffic. See Paul Ellison further back there with a problem. But, I mean, it's really heavy damage for Widener. Really heavy damage for Claiborne, who got into Widener probably the hardest of anybody there. Most of those other drivers, I would consider that minimal contact. Quite a few just went down in the grass as well. But, I mean, certainly not an ideal way to start a duel race, regardless.
What's interesting is that Patton and Fleming are the ones with meatball flags, not Claiborne and not Widener, although they'll obviously have some considerable damage to fix.
That is quite surprising. Boy, Poliski got absolutely wiped out there as well. And we're going to play this game all the way through the dual races tonight. I'm afraid when we go to a replay, we are going to have to go pseudo live and then fast forward. So a little bit buggy, as if you are a viewer of Turn 200, you know this happens every time we have heat races. And for the life of me, it may be the one thing that keeps me up at night. Life of me, I cannot figure out why they cannot just program heat races correctly.
Yeah. Well, you're not missing anything. We're still under caution. Vreeland, Michael, Smith, Dale Weiser, Sean Begley are the top 5. Will Weiser, Sean Boundy, Hunter Engrav, Christopher Kresge, James Lehman should be the top 10 here. It's lap number 8. We'll restart here on lap number 9. I guess that would put us with 17 laps to go. I don't know, somewhere in there. Still plenty of time for the drivers that are at the back to try and work their way up. Well, good news, bad news for Justin Michael. Good news is that he survived that. The bad news is he lost his biggest supporter, no doubt, Scott Patton.
I mean, Michael obviously would like to have Patton there with him, but does have Heath Smith, who he's very familiar with as well, up here towards the front. So he's got some partners to work with.
Are we back live yet?
Where are we at on the racetrack?
We're in the middle of the backstretch.
Well, we might get there.
Okay. I think I'll do the replays for the rest of the night.
I didn't think it would be this bad, if I'm being honest.
Also, I don't know if we've ever had to take a replay in a dual race before.
We never have. That is actually factual.
So now we know.
Because we usually don't have cautions in our heat races or duels.
That is correct. I think it came out just about perfectly here, though. We're not missing anything. Drivers are in the middle of 3 and 4. Vreeland and Michael on the front row. Smith and Dale Weiser, who had a really good run going until late caution last week at Texas, took him out of the running. He's on the outside of row number 2. Sean Begley and Will Weiser on row 3. Sean Boundy, Hunter Engrav, James Lehman, Christopher Kresge, Palumbo, Jake Johnson, Matthew Johnston, Mike Milfelt, and Josh Freed right now are the top 15. They're the ones on the inside. Luke Peterson, the first one on the outside. Look at it. Back to green.
And we are indeed live.
There you go. Hopefully we won't have to take any more replays until the finish of the race. We'll see.
I was going to say, I'm not so sure about that one.
I'm not either. Michael edging out ahead there. Go ahead.
Yeah, working up top with Dale Weiser. And Weiser has some help with the 44 of Will Weiser.
I believe this is a father-son combo, Dale and Will, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know much more about them outside of that. They both raced in Texas last week. Both had applied to the lead before that. We're excited to see them here. And they're showing out, they're showing out early here.
Bottom lane has the momentum right now, though. Vreeland getting pushed out front by Heath Smith.
Grab is pulled up onto the scene here. He's 4th in line. That brightly colored number 77.
James Lehman up here on the top side as well, just behind Hunter Engrab. We saw him make some bold moves, trying to take it 3 wide before that caution came out. Now finds himself in the top 10. Might like to move forward, but that's not a bad spot to be right now either.
And again, the top ticker is not correct. We have 15 laps to go. Ignore that. It won't go off of the screen either. So it's just kind of stuck there if you're wondering why it's there.
Trust
But
me,
15 laps to go is the number. Oh, I know. I know you've tried. I know you've probably muted the microphone and said some uncouth words as well. And well-deserved.
You know, this time around, I actually haven't because I just expect it.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I'm taking it in stride this time.
We've gotten lucky a time or two, but tonight's not going to be that night.
Honestly, we were lucky we got the first one with it working for the
There you
most
go.
part, so
We used it up.
we were half lucky.
9 laps to go.
Haven't really talked much about the 34 of Sean Boundy. He's really not pushing too hard here on the bottom, which probably is not a bad thing here at this point. Heath Smith is going to leave Andrew Vreeland and move up top to get with the fellow Max V driver. Boy, they get loose, though.
Ooh. Well,
And right
that's,
back to the bottom he goes.
make that move in checkers. There's one to the right, one up, and one to the left.
Smith might think twice about going to work with the fellow Max V constituent at this point.
Well, Andrew Vreeland, podium finisher in the recruitment race last week. Quite the way to make your introduction to the league, and what a way he could follow it up if he was able to come away with a dual victory here tonight, or indeed just lock himself into the show. What was the number? Did we have 60 people here tonight trying to go for spots? That is insane.
I believe 59 was the official number.
That's just nuts.
That is indeed nuts. 30 drivers in the first duel, 29 here in this one.
Yeah, I'm sure there will be some drivers looking down their nose at the at the admin side of things here tonight. But the drivers, they showed up and showed out here tonight. No doubt about it. Can't thank them enough.
Boy, getting awful squirrely here throughout the pack. Weiser looking a little bit upset there on the top side. Goes up the hill through turns 1 and 2, but has a friendly face there behind. Oh, they're going to take it 3 wide here down the backstretch. That's what they were looking for.
Weissers aren't playing.
So moving up the hill for a reason. The Weiser crew looking to get to the front via the top lane, and they're going to have a little bit of help coming their way.
Vreeland blocking 2 lanes now. As the Weissers try and get something in motion, they'll have some help coming on the top side here as well with Jake Johnson. Boy, 3 wide. Everybody looks free. Oh, Smith and Begley both down onto the apron. One followed the other. And the Weissers losing their help up top. They're going to start to go backwards. Mike Milfelt now to add to the Max V contingent up front. He is tucked in behind Lehman, who's pushing Engrav, who's pushing Justin Michael to the point. When I said there were 9 laps left earlier, I meant there were 14. We're coming to 10 to go here.
Oh, no! Paul Ellison gets turned.
Ellison, Allen, Widener, Fleming,
Looks like
Roberts.
maybe just a couple cars. No, caution is out.
Yeah, caution is going to fly. As there are trucks scattering quite a bit there. 55 of Ellison. I think he might have got tangled up there with Kyle Allen. So we'll...
We're going to give it a shot.
Oh, God. Okay.
So looks like Allen is trying to run the third lane here. Ellison running the middle, kind of drifts up the racetrack. And then they both just kind of come together. I don't know if we can really fault any of them on that one. So that one was, I don't want to say it was an innocent mistake, but certainly wasn't a big issue like we've seen thus far in most of the incidents throughout these couple of duels.
Well, unfortunately for Ellison and Travis Fleming, they have meatball flags out of the deal.
Joshua Rutherford makes a good point. You can't fault the Edmonds for getting caught up in a wreck twice.
Yeah, well.
Hey, guess what? Our ticker is gone. It doesn't say 23 laps to go anymore.
Okay, that's better.
And we're already live.
All right.
Moving on up.
The call, and I agree, is a no call.
Yeah, that one's tough to pin down. One drifts up, then the other one kind of drifts down, then they both just drift together. I mean, hard to make any sort of call there. Got a good look at the official pace truck driver here on iRacing. Hopefully, a little bit of a better pace truck driver than there was yesterday in the Cup Series finale.
Yeah, we can only hope.
Can't say I thought I would ever see that one.
No, that was rather interesting for sure.
I would really love to know the sequence of NASCAR radio, because I was telling my father I don't know if it is necessarily the pace car driver's fault, because NASCAR was probably screaming one to go at, like, right when they got to the barrels and they had to make a split decision potentially. I don't know. It's hard to say if that's the case or not, but I feel like that's something NASCAR would do.
I turned away to watch a little bit of football and come back, and I was like, man, what happened for there being a red flag at Phoenix? Boy, was I surprised.
Yes. Well, I mean, if you're gonna be driving a car on a racetrack, I mean, Kyle Larson's a good person to try and emulate. Just maybe not, maybe not that part of
Maybe not that.
the driver's skills. Yeah. So Ellison and Allen have gotten together to bring this one out. And should be coming to 7 laps to go.
Beyond lap 19. So, yes, that is 7 to go. I'm bad enough in math already, but then NASCAR math, you had to add 1 to it every time because you have to count the final lap. It just ain't for me.
Yes, Don, that was at the NASCAR race yesterday. The pace car driver hit the barrels in front of pit road.
'Twas sand everywhere, not just because they were in the desert. All right, Andrew Freeland going toe-to-toe here with one of the best on the channel, Justin Michael. Tying for the most wins in Truck 200 with Caleb Bensey.
And Hunter Engrab, who will always say he doesn't feel comfortable on a super speedway, has been pretty steady right here in the top 2 or 3 rows throughout the latter half of this one.
Finished second with the Venom Truck Series at Talladega as well. So don't listen to what he says. Listen to what he do. Back to green. Wheeling to Michael, Smith and Grav, Bagley, Lehman, Boundy, Milfelt, Christopher Darling, Will Weiser, Dale Weiser, Jake Johnston, Matt Johnston, Christopher Kresge, Hayden Palumbo right now the top 15. But that can and will change in the next 6.5 laps. They are 3 wide further back. Palumbo, the meat in the sandwich there.
That's Christopher Kresge trying to get to the top side and is going to find some help. I thought was going to get left out to dry, but that is not the case. John Kay is one of them.
Oh, Freed and Claiborne with a little bit of contact. Freed getting bounced around.
So it's Andy Poliski, John Kay trying to help Christopher Kresge in the third lane, but Poliski got really loose, got up into the wall there.
Yeah, Poliski losing time. Might have just gotten into the wall again.
Poliski with some damage earlier on.
Whoa! Nick Goyette is super loose. He saved that. I don't know how.
He's still on the apron trying to save it.
He's still on the apron. Oh, my Lord. Michael and Vreeland, meanwhile, nothing's changed up front. They're still side by side.
Oh, what? Couple
Oh, there we go.
Down. Oh, dear.
It's John Kay, Fleming, Patton, Widener.
Luke Peterson.
Luke Peterson.
Caution is out.
I think that one started around Christopher Kresge. They were all kind of getting a little bit squirrely there.
Yeah, somebody pulled up in front of Kresge, and I don't know if it just stacked it up. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but that is definitely where it started. See if we can take a look. See a couple of drivers already down. Kyle Allen is one of them. Receiver 3 wide. Kresge is in. Oh, and Kresge gets loose. Makes pretty significant contact. I'm not quite sure who that is with, but puts a couple of drivers down into the grass. That's Peterson and Allen. I believe that may have. No, that wasn't Cody Claiborne that jumped to the top. Looks like it was the 24, Jake Johnson, that moved up there in front of Kresge to try and get that lane rolling. And after Peterson and Allen go for a ride, Kay slows down. Widener gets into the back of Kay, who gets into the back of somebody else there. Not quite sure who that was. Oh, that was Travis Fleming. So, yeah, just a lot of things happening there.
We are going to shorten this up, so hopefully you have enough time to catch up here.
We should be good. Yes, we are already live.
This is going to be a natural green-white checkered, so there's not going to be another caution after this.
So, top 15 is who's looking to go directly in to the season opener next week. 10th on back right now, Christopher Darling, Hayden Palumbo, Will Weiser, Jake Johnson, Matthew Johnston, Cody Claiborne, Josh Freed, Christopher Kresge, Caleb Bency, Zach Flaum, Andy Poliski are in 10th through 20th, and then Widener, Heggie, Goyette, Allen, Patton, and Luke Peterson are through 26th. John Kay, Travis Fleming, I believe are still on pit road, so Things looking pretty grim for the both of them, unfortunately.
Well, it's Daytona. Things can change in the blink of an eye. Michael will have control. He's going to fire in the box. Vreeland will be on his outside. Engrav and Smith on row 2. Lehman and Begley on row 3. Milfelt and Boundy on row 4. It's Dale Weiser and Darling on row 5. Palumbo and Will Weiser on row 6. Johnson, Claiborne, Johnston, and Freed the top 15. Two laps to go. Michael's back to it. Straight to the top he goes. Engrav doesn't have much help. Now here's Heath Smith going to jump down to the bottom with James Lehman behind. Bagley with a big push from Boundy. Some shuffling, but they all get tightened up here in the top 7.
Bottom lane with a big surge at the end of the backstretch here into 3.
To the white flag. They saved their reckon for the tri-oval. Will they do it again, or will we get the big one here on the final lap?
Whoa! Michael and Vreeland got down to the bottom there.
Whoa.
Now Vreeland's going to pull out to the top.
Vreeland now with help. Here's a big shot from Begley as Engrav lays into the back of Michael.
Oh, Palumbo! Down
Matt
to the
Johnston.
inside grass.
Palumbo and Johnston in big trouble. Side by side again, they're 3 wide, pushing and shoving. Big crash.
Oh my
Up into the
goodness.
next fence goes Weiser. Photo finish again here in duel number 2 at the stripe. Give it to Justin Michael.
And after all of the calamity, Josh Freed finishes in 15th, and Dale Weiser was an absolute frisbee on the final lap.
Oh, poor Weiser.
Oh, and I'm not even going to get a chance to show a replay. Darn it. What a finish to both of these duels. The truck's getting a little flip happy tonight here at Daytona.
Ay, ay, ay. What a crazy sequence there to finish that one off. We're going to try and go in search of Heath Smith first, since he was your quick qualifier here tonight. Maybe anyway. I keep looking. I'm looking like I'm in the Max V channels here, but we're in the Turn 200 Discord. We'll move Heath Smith into Booth 200. He's going to end up being your quick qualifier here tonight after a little bit of shuffling at the top of the board, but a clean lap for driver number 1. Puts him P1. Congrats.
Thank you. That was a big surprise for me. So I'll take it, and I got to enjoy my little heat race there and have a little fun and not worry about too much. So pretty cool deal.
Yeah, you got to be in the thick of it there. Top 5 for you. I know what the drivers are going to say off there, but describe me how this truck felt on the track here tonight. It looked tepid, to say the least.
Yeah, for sure. It was different than I can remember in the past. I haven't spent too much time on the super speedways and the trucks, but it was I got a little loose a couple times. That I don't know if it was aero or what caused it, but I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer your question. It was a handful for sure.
It certainly looked it. Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on obviously the quali effort was spectacular, but also good runs there in the couple of heat races we had there in your heat race, or duel as Tommy would call it. How we looking for the season opener? I mean, you had a good night here tonight. Does it give you a little confidence going into Monday next week?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of does. I mean, it's pretty cool being fast qualifier and then running decent in your dual race. And but these things are hit or miss. You don't know how they're going to turn out. You can run a perfect race in that last lap. As y'all know, the Max V race, I won that thing from 8th or 9th place on the last lap in a crazy finish. It just depends.
Well, crazy night once again. We'll look forward to doing it again next week at Daytona. Congrats to you. Let's get some shout-outs for you for the road.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to thank the Max V guys. I was fortunate enough to be a little bit later in the qualifying order. I was able to watch those guys. They told us what they done. Great teamwork. They just kind of was calling out how they was doing it, running their lines, and I just done something a little different than everybody else, and was fortunate enough to hit a pretty good lap in qualifying and lock myself in and guaranteed spot. So just got to thank those guys, and then of course turn 200, Tommy, Matt, do an absolutely amazing job. Thank you for what you do for all of the sim racing that you broadcast. It's absolutely amazing what you guys do, and I enjoy watching it. Thank you.
Thank you for the time here tonight, partner. We'll hope to talk to you again next week, or maybe Thursday as well to close out the Max V season.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
So we'll talk to your duel number 1 winner. Pretty tight margins in both of these races. You're going to have to settle for second in the margin of victory category here tonight. Kyle's Little, 25 1/1000ths of a second, but he'll take duel number 1 here tonight. Well done.
Thank you, boys.
Well, I'll pose the same question to you that I did to Heath. Setup was interesting from the looks of it. How did you manage?
Oh, man. It was really nice to get all the Venom guys together in a line, and we were just pushing. Nathan kind of told me with 2 laps to go, I'm not lifting. I'm getting right on your bumper and hold the line. So I did. And, man, we came out of 4, and man, everything got real squirrely real fast. And all of a sudden I look in my mirror and they're 3 wide behind me and, still next to me, and people are just everywhere. And, just shoving and shoving and shoving. And then we come across the line. Next thing I know, I'm upside down. And I looked down at my relative and won. I was like, hey, there we go.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a good run here. I mean, we know that you're good at these types of races, but have you used the luck too early here tonight?
I won. So in our Venom League, we have a clash that is at Daytona, and I won it 2 years in a row. And I think both of those years I won it, I didn't finish the race. So I'd like to hope not, but I'd also like to, I'd also pretty much like to think that I can be up front now and stay up there, and hopefully everything kind of mellows out, because 25 laps, people get crazy. So hopefully with a long run, I can either stay up front or I can just go to the back and hang out and wait for a pit stop like I normally do.
Well, thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on the dual victory. Shout-outs for you.
You boys for putting this back together and putting together this roster. This roster is amazing from top to bottom. This is gonna be really fun. All the boys over in Venom, helping out, pushing, helping out, racing. We're all hooked up together. Everybody watching, my wife. Yeah, that should be about it.
All righty, partner. Thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on the dual win. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, boys. Appreciate it.
And now we move on to your duel number 2 winner. It's time to talk to Justin Michael here in booth 200 once again. Welcome back. Congrats on the vict.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Well, You certainly were having some fun cutting it up, swapping lanes there, pushing a couple times, getting pushed. You missed all the big ones there. Talk me through your duel race.
Yeah, I mean, we were just trying to stay clean, and I was hoping that's what a lot of the top 10 would do. Wouldn't really push it 3 wide. I know we did get 3 wide there at one point, and like I don't know if we should be doing this. It's top 15 go. Just calm down, you know. But at the end, you know, we were able to stay out front and got a real good push from Hunter at the end. He sent me a message. He thought he did a bad push, but no, he hit me pretty hard and pretty square, so it gave me a good boost to get out front and win.
Matt, what you got?
Yeah, congrats on a good run here tonight. I know, you know, we talk about with this league in particular kind of being the Turn 200 All-Star League, lots of different drivers from different places and different faces for most of you to run with. And at restrictor plate tracks like Daytona, you have to work together with a lot of those names that you don't know. Was there anybody that you ran into tonight, maybe other than Hunter, that maybe surprised you or that you feel like you might work well with?
Yeah, I mean, I've raced with some of these guys before since I did race in this league a while back, but yeah, there's definitely some new faces out there, and everybody was keeping it pretty clean, so I wasn't getting any complaints from any of the guys. So, but yeah, I think everybody did a really good job.
Well, thanks for the time here tonight. Congrats on the duel. Get some shout-outs for you before we let you go and prepare for Phoenix on Thursday.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, just everybody out there watching, and Scott out there from Patent Paints for painting this awesome truck. We got to fix that banner though. Sorry about that. We'll get that fixed next time. But just you guys out there for calling a great race and for putting on the league. I'm glad I could finally make it back since the work schedule works out. So I know we couldn't make it, I think, the last season because of work. So we'll get out there. Hopefully, be able to run a full season this time.
Looking forward to it, partner. Looking forward to Daytona again next week. But congrats on a thrilling duel victory here tonight.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Well, we got a lot of work to do, and by that, I mean I've got a lot of work to do here tonight. This was not quite the night we were looking for, but it happened. It's in the books. It's not quite official yet. Well, Garrett Rainey and I, and maybe Matt, if he's not too busy, can stick around and sort through the mess. And we'll look forward to Daytona proper next week to kick things off for the Return 200. Busy night here on the track and off the track and in the chat as well. Matt, anything you want to say before we throw it to the folks at home?
Well, I wouldn't sell yourself short. I think it was obviously not without its hiccups, but I think it was a pretty cool event overall. It's something that you don't see done very often. So I think it was a pretty cool event for the drivers to attend. First of all, before we get to the chat, thank you to all the drivers that showed up. 59 drivers is just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much to everybody that tuned in. If you didn't make it into the season opener, don't worry. You can still qualify your way into all of the other races this season through regular qualifying the night of the race. And I don't know if we'll get quite that many for all the races this season. I think everybody was pretty amped up for this one. But thank you to all the drivers that showed up here tonight. Thank you to Garrett Rainey, Don Golden, Rob Williams, Joshua Rutherford, Corey Rutherford, Sean Boundy, John K at JK Gaming, Hunter Leach, James Lehman, Andy Poliski, Vanity Fair. I always forget who that is. D. Freedy, I don't know if that must be one of Josh Freed's constituents there. Mason Knapp cheering on Heath Smith. Josh Maxwell, Mike Perry. We had a lot of people here tonight. James Watson was here. And Bailey Marie cheering on Josh Monachek as always. I think I got everybody. If I missed you, I'm sorry, but there were a lot of names in there. So thank you to everybody that was here with us tonight and everybody that chatted with us. Very, very much appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed this one. Pretty cool event, I think, to kick things off for the final season of Truck 200. Tommy, I'll leave it to you. We have a championship to settle this week.
Absolutely, we do. But before we get to there, we've got to go racing on Wednesday night with the SRL Sports Car Championship from Le Mans. That'll be live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch us there. And then you can catch us at Phoenix for the championship race. It is the Final Four. It's Widener versus Michael versus Maul versus Haynes at Phoenix to determine the champion for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series. They were all four in the field here tonight, if I'm not mistaken. So catch them again on Thursday night, 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time. And that will lead us into the Return 200 with some tweaks, I'm sure, to make sure that we can actually race a little bit here next Monday night. But catch us here at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time for that one. That's all we got for you between now and then. Yeah, like you said, thank you to everybody that came out here. I never my wildest dreams would have thought that we would have put 59 drivers on the track at any time here on Turn 200 before. That was fantastic. Cannot thank the drivers enough for their patience here tonight and for wanting to spend some time here on Turn 200. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you to Garrett Rainey. He had a full plate here tonight, and he handled it quite well, so appreciate him very much. And thank you to Matt Williamson as well for picking up the slack while I was doing admin stuff. Greatly appreciate you as well. That's all we got for you here tonight. Until we meet again from Daytona International Speedway, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Heath Smith on the pole, to Kyle Zittel for the win in duel number 1, and Justin Michael in the duel number 2 victory lane. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.